Now let me see. You've done a lot of naughty things, haven't you? Vandalism, graffiti, bad language, violent conduct, disrespecting staff. Oh, I'm scared of you, Hopkins.
Come on, give me a break.
I've never been a fan of the GTA games, mostly because they just aren't fun to me. To someone who doesn't enjoy, not playing by the book and going out and running over people for 5 hours, it doesn't appeal to me. Like, I want to play a story, I want to play a game that progresses. And I was surprised when I played Bully initially when it first came out, because it really addressed all the issues I had with the GTA series up to that time. I mean, the GTA series, or the games are always these really ambitious attempts at recreating places we know, whether it's Florida or New York City, and puts it in this familiar cinematic story, whether it's Scarface or, Menace to Society in San Andreas, and then it packs it in with all these really tired pop culture references that we already had jokes about, in South Park and Family Guy. I just don't think it's anywhere near as imaginative and, amazing as the reviews always make those games out to be. And Bully is really what happens when Rockstar, already have the tools and the layout to make this sort of game and just go ahead and create a world of their own as opposed to this really referential title.
Hey, how you doing? You must be the new kid. I'm Pete Kowalski.
Jimmy Hopkins, and don't ask how I'm doing. I've been here 5 minutes and already people want me dead. Even my parents didn't hate me this quickly.
Well, welcome to Bullworth. It's a dump.
Bully
Great.
is the only sandbox game that really has a story you care about from beginning to end, and has gameplay that doesn't feel, punishingly redundant. And it gives just the right context to every mission that really makes the story and gameplay go hand in hand in a way that, even GTA 4 didn't really do as good of a job as it could have. Which really brings me to the story. And Jimmy is kind of a dumb brute. I mean, he's nowhere near as schizophrenic and as big of an asshole as GTA protagonist, but, he's still not like exactly someone you want to hang out with in real life. The game's divided into 5 chapters that each deal with taking down one of the leaders of the school's cliques. Like, there's the nerds, the jocks, the preps, the townies, who are basically like the dropouts. I don't know who calls dropouts townies, but that kind of reflects kind of the 50s nostalgia in the game, which also leaves me with the last group, which was the greasers. And I don't know if there's any group you would call greasers anymore in 2009, which really goes a long way to establishing that Bully isn't the world as we know it. It's this really kind of odd, kind of like throwback to the 50s and 60s in a lot of ways. You could tell through the town's architecture, the atmosphere of the game, is all over the production, especially with the soundtrack, which is done by this group called Sean Lee's Ping Pong Orchestra. And they also did a great song called Kiss the Sky, which played at the end of Eastbound and Down season finale if you watch that show. And I heard it's also played on an episode of Nip Tuck, which I've never seen, but you might recognize the song. I'm going to play it at the end of the review, so I recommend checking out both the Bully soundtrack and their stuff they did outside it. And anyway, the soundtrack goes for a variety of themes while still feeling like it belongs to the same game. The main theme really sounds like a Tim Burton kind of a, tribute. The Bully soundtrack is really inspired in comparison and really goes a long way to making this a very memorable experience. And that really extends the voice work. Rockstar are always known for their production values, and Bully really might be the company's best. It doesn't hurt that the script is memorable on its own.
Yeah, I've been expelled from anywhere halfway decent because I'm really bad. Give up the tough guy act, pal.
Hey man, what's your problem?
Well, ADD primarily, but also life, my parents, this school, Western civilization, but really, honestly, enough about me. Oh, I see you've met the dorm's master.
And the game characters really have a wonderful balance of both kind of like embracing their, kind of cliches, whether it's the nerds or the jocks, but they also have this great self-awareness in the dialogue where, the game kind of pokes fun at itself and its characters poke fun at themselves, and it makes it a lot, it's definitely more on the goofier early GTA side as opposed to, where the serious route that GTA 4 went, and I kind of prefer that. Even though the graphic engine itself isn't all that special, the art direction and Bully really gives the game a personality of its own, just as much as the music and writing. Everything from the school's emblem, that you see on every school uniform, of course, to the real, like I said, the town's architecture really recalls like this happier pre-MTV America. That's, it's kind of unique to see that in a game. Even though the game itself never really gives you a set time, it's just kind of the world itself feels that way. I keep making comparisons to the GTA series, but, like I said, I can't help but do that, because this game really addresses, my biggest complaint with the GTA series, which is, you ask someone what their favorite mission was in a GTA game, and they usually draw a blank. There isn't much that separates one mission from the next in any GTA game. This is not the case with Bully. And really what it comes down to is that Bully, is what happens when Rockstar makes a sandbox game with this, with a focus instead of just building a game out of the notion that, more and bigger is better. Bully's world is really tiny compared to, GTA San Andreas especially, but even GTA 4, Bully is like, one section of that game. But, the world really has a personality in Bully, where the divided areas really have their own identity that separate them from the last. Whether it's the slums where the greasers hang out or the opulent, prep neighborhoods, you always get a sense of where you are. And it's never like the last place you were. I'm gonna stop my GTA bashing here with my, last conclusion here. I might as well go all the way here. The comparison I always make is that a GTA game is like going to a roadside diner, a Denny's or IHOP. You get a ridiculous portion, everything tastes great, and it all comes at a really good price. But, an hour later, you're shitting your pants and you're puking out the back window of your friend's Buick and you feel like shit, and Bully, in comparison, is, like a home-cooked meal that has personality and a soul. It might not last forever, but you'll enjoy every bit of it until it's gone. And that's my review of Bully Scholarship Edition for the PC, for Playtest.com.